Hello! Welcome to another Thursday tip. I'm Lori Jacobs with Hardworking Mom, and today we're going to be talking about whether you should sign up to purchase wholesale. So I get this question a lot, and I think it's a really important question. So this is what I want you to think about when you're deciding whether you want to purchase wholesale, if you're going to be selling any kind of products. In order to buy wholesale, you have to have a sales tax license. And where you get those is you get those through your county. So what you want to do is you want to go online and you want to go to your county and you can look up sales tax license. Some counties call it resale license. Just do a search for it. If you're having any trouble finding it, call your county auditor and ask them about it. So the reason that you do that is because there can be local sales tax on top of any sales tax that you have to collect for the state. So it's done at the county level. That way the county is able to get their additional sales tax that is put on top of whatever the state rate is. So counties can set their own sales tax rate as well as the state. All right, so let's talk about how often you have to file your taxes. So it is monthly the majority of the time. Sometimes you can do it quarterly, but you usually have to get special permission to do that. So every month, usually around 15 or 20 days after the end of the month, you have to go on. Majority of states have an online system that you can do this with. Generally what you do is you just put in the amount of sales that you had in your particular state. And it will calculate the rates for you. You know, the rates can be anywhere between 4% and a lot higher. But you know, you want to check with your county first. They will tell you what the requirements are, how often you have to file, and it's very important that you do file on time. There can be penalties if you don't file on time, and you can lose your ability to purchase wholesale. What you're really trying to obtain is the sales tax number. So they'll give you a number, and once you have that number, then you can start looking for wholesalers. So the way you can do that is just go online and do a search. So if you made wreaths, then you could look for floral wholesalers, because oftentimes those are the ones that have wreath supplies. Because remember, mesh was in the beginning really for use in florals. So they used it oftentimes in florals, and so that's where the origination of where it was used started. You know, you just search for whatever it is that you're making and then wholesale. There are some places that do both wholesale and retail, but when you sign up, they'll either require you to put in your number and your state, or they'll require you to send them a copy. So when you apply for your sales tax, you will get a little certificate that you can keep. You also want to make sure that you check with your county and make sure that you don't need a business license, because a lot of times if you have a retail sales license, you might also need a business license, even if all of your business is just online. You just have to check with your county. You can ask your county auditor, just like you ask them about the sales tax. So if you have any trouble figuring that out, just call them. They're always willing to help. And you know, you can also pop down there at your county courthouse and talk to the county auditor. They're generally pretty great about helping you with anything like that. So for the most part, most states only require you to take sales tax for selling within their state. Most states also have free sales tax training. You just want to check with your state and see if they do. They often either have something that's taped online or a class that you can go to. It's a really good idea because you want to know what the laws are, because there can be use tax that you may have to pay for other states, but generally speaking, it's usually just that you have to pay for taxes for sales that are within your state. So, all websites will give you reports if you're using, such as if you're using Shopify, if you're using WooCommerce on your website, if you're using Etsy, then you should have report ability to download and sort it by state so that you can accurately count what's in your state. So now that you know how to set up your sales tax and how to do it and where to go, the next thing we need to talk about is why. So why would you do this? Why would you want to get a wholesale agreement with a company and purchase from them? So we talked last week about pricing. And, I told you don't use pricing that's on sale to price your items, right? So you want to use the retail price. Well, the same thing is the case if you're purchasing wholesale. So generally speaking, when you're purchasing wholesale, you get 20 to 50% off of what the retail price is. So that's 20 to 50% you can add to your profit, right to your bottom line. So absolutely, if you're going to make a business out of making a product of any kind, really it's best to buy wholesale because it gives you more of a profit margin than if you purchase retail. And you want to price things so that if someone made the same thing and they used retail prices, that's the basis. That is the absolute basis. You never want to go below that. You always want to take that and at least double it, because you have to account for your time, your talents. Okay? So it's a really great idea to buy wholesale. And it's not that difficult to find places that you can buy wholesale. You just fill out an application, and generally they will approve it pretty quickly. The other thing that you need to know about buying wholesale, is that oftentimes they're going to have minimums. So your beginning minimum could be anywhere from $75 to $500 or more. And then they generally have minimums when you're purchasing. So let's take, for example, Sims Pottery. Sims Pottery is one of my wholesalers. Love their stuff. And they have a $250 minimum order when you first start out, and it's $75 minimum after that. So it's really important to pay attention when you're signing up with a wholesaler to see what their minimums are, because you're just going to waste your time if you're not able to place orders that are in their minimum. But there's a lot of other great things that you can get from wholesalers. So we'll go back to Sims as an example. Twice a year, Sims has a floral show, and they'll show different trends of colors and how to put different florals together, how to do different wreaths, and it's free for people who are already signed up as a wholesaler with them. Then you can go and do these shows for free. That's a great benefit. A lot of times these wholesalers will have a market of their own. And you can go there and, it doesn't cost you money to go to the show, and you can get great ideas. They'll put all kinds of displays out, and a lot of times they're trying to encourage you to purchase certain things in their inventory, or they're showing you some of the products they're going to have coming up in the next years. But when you're a designer of any kind, it's a really great idea to go to these, because you get ideas, you see what the trends are, they give you a lot of tips that you're going to have a lot of difficulty finding out on your own. So you really want to do this. If you're going to take this seriously, if you're going to make this a business, then my suggestion is that you go ahead, you get your retail license, treat it like a business. Don't treat it like a hobby. If you keep purchasing retail, you're treating it like a hobby. Don't treat it like a hobby. You're either in or out. You have to decide whether you want to do this or whether you just want to play. If you just want to play, I wouldn't get a wholesale license. If you want to be serious about it and you want to make this into a business, absolutely get a wholesale license. There's a lot of benefits from increasing your profit margin to making contacts in your business and to learning a lot of things that you wouldn't learn otherwise. Every time I go to these shows, I learn a tremendous amount. So it's a really great idea, and I make a lot of connections, and those connections help you. They help you in your business, and they help you move your business forward, because these places are not going to be successful if you're not successful. So they have a vested interest in you being successful just like you do. So I would suggest that you go ahead, contact your county, find out what you need to do to get your license, and go ahead and move forward with it. It's generally free to get that. And then, keep in mind, when you are using wholesale products, don't use that wholesale price. So if you get 30% off, don't use that 30% in your calculation. Use it at the retail price. That really helps you a lot. Also, another really important thing to understand about wholesale is that volume counts. Okay? So a lot of wholesalers, the majority of wholesalers, the way they work is that the more you buy, the bigger a discount you get. So we can look at Sims Pottery again. So when I go on Sims Pottery, if I'm ordering online, and I do that sometimes, it may say $3.25 per piece. But if you buy 24 or more, it might be $2.75 per piece. So it's really important to know that, to pay attention when you're ordering things. If you really want to get to that volume discount, you could go in with a couple friends who are also in the same business, and you can collectively get that discount. But you want to be really careful that you don't overbuy. So you don't want to buy too many things in order to get to that discount, because remember, you have to then turn around and sell those things. So it's really easy when you see those wholesale prices to think, oh my gosh, I need 50 of those. But you have to remember, you may not be able to sell 50 of those. So just be really careful when you're doing your purchases. You want to test the waters a little bit to make sure that you are able to sell that. I mean, it is a really good idea to offer multiples of things, so buying wholesale is a great idea. But you don't want to go overboard and buy too many. And I'm petting my dog back here in the back, if you're wondering what I'm doing. Okay, so I hope this helped you, and I hope it will push you to go ahead and Get your wholesale license so that you can increase your profit margin. Because let's face it, you know, that's encouragement in its own. The better you do, the more you want to do. Okay, well, I really hope this helped you and it answered some of the questions that I've gotten. If you have additional questions, just please leave me a comment. Make sure to go check out my website, because I will be posting additional tips there and additional resources so that you can find links to things. I do have links to the state Secretary of State for all the states. And make sure to join my mailing list. I have a free price calculator. So if you do make products, you do want to grab one of the free price calculators. It really does help. You want to make sure that you're pricing things correctly. Yeah, if you haven't seen the video on price calculation, go watch it, because don't shoot yourself in the foot by pricing your things too low. And if there's something else that you want me to do a tip about or to talk about, make sure to leave it in the comments and I would be happy to do a video on it. Okay, I will see y'all next Thursday. Y'all have a wonderful week and bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.